Hello guys, welcome back to Wheezy Palace Models. As you'll probably not have noticed in the description, the channel's name has changed now to Wheezy Palace Models, owing to the fact that I've been making a few little models to do some, with the aim to do some dioramas. So rather than just being railway, I'm going to be doing a few wheels kits and little bits and pieces like that. Brothers asked now for a bus station, so that could be a future project. So rather than limiting myself to railways, which sometimes I can't get up there, then we're going to be doing little bits of painting. As you can see, we've kitted ourselves out with some nice Vallejo paints, and I have to say I've totally changed my reflection on painting with the Vallejo. They really are good quality paints. So yeah, well pleased with them. Looking at techniques and doing things on YouTube, variations on some modelling channels, etc. And I've really got my teeth into doing some nice dioramas and things like that. So hence now the channel name is Wheezy Palace Models. The railway is still a very, very big part of it, of course. And the rebuild of Tetbury Station and the other bits and pieces that I've managed to find and do in the last month or so since I last spoke to you is all coming up. So grab yourself a cup of tea, get yourself a biscuit, sit down and let's have a listen. As well as getting out and enjoying this lovely weather that we've had recently, I've managed to start the Tetbury Station rebuild, as well as construct a hillside, do a little bit of ballasting and find some extra storage. Let's have a look. As with all great builds, scratch builds, you need good plans. So I took the plans from the Tetbury branch line book and armed myself with my 2mm to 1 foot plasticard and started to cut out windows, put in a few dividers just to give me some rigidity for the building. Made a roof structure which would actually hold up the intended roof that I was going to build, and it would also hold the wiring for the lighting. Made the roof out of the same type of plasticard, lit it up, and yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. White primer, which obviously got into all the joints, and then just some dry brush techniques to give the brick the colour that it needed. Built the canopy, put that on, put a roof on, weathered it down slightly, and on the whole I was quite pleased with it at this stage. I needed to build the little lamp hut, which is housed next to it in the original building. So we did that, same techniques, and yeah, together they look quite well. Same technique for painting. Pico platform edges and some white plasticard was made up to make the platform. Grey primer was applied, buffer stop put on the end as per the drawings, and yeah, using some scale model sceneries, platform wrap, I put that on, and yeah, I think it looks quite nice, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure of the platform wrap, because when I put some varnish on it, it did fade quite a bit, but there you go, very happy. The way the layout is designed is it's got a double loop basically, and when it comes back on itself, I've got a line coming out into Tetbury, which will be the Tetbury build, and I thought I'm missing an opportunity here, so I was thinking about scenics and how I was going to do it. And while thinking about this, I thought, hang on a minute, if I carried on that line, the Tetbury line that comes off on the third loop, if I carried that on and took it through a 3-lane bridge, which I constructed, and brought it out as a 2-lane, I could lose a lane as storage. So put a point in there, put 2 lanes in, and then thought, wow, yeah, have I got enough room for the Tetbury? So I tried it, and yes, I had. So great idea. A little bit of Metcalf stone card, which covered the wood that I put along for a retaining wall, and tried it all, and it works absolutely perfectly. So I've managed to gain myself 2 extra lanes. With view that I would have a hillside the other side of this little tunnel that I've now created, when it came to ballasting, I thought I best take those points out, because if I should get a problem with the points at some point, then it's going to be very, very difficult once the hillside and that's been constructed to actually gain access to them. So ballasting started. I managed to change the tracks over so it's just complete straights now. And once I'd done one bit, I actually went round the corner and did the bottom bit, and then thought, hang on a minute, I really need to go around and do the top end. And I started getting into this ballasting, and I must admit I do quite enjoy it once you get it going. So I've managed to ballast all of the loop apart from the point at the top there. That is a work to be sorted once the motor and that's in. Then put the hillside in position, and yeah, I think it's gone quite well. So more of that to come very shortly. Moving on to a bit of community news, and as you know, I'm very good friends with Tony Northeastern, and he's done it again. Thank you, Tony. I forgot to mention you in the last episode. Sent me some super glue, some figures, and some of his badges, some of his Tony Northeastern badges, and I can proudly say I'm hanging one. Thank you, Tony. I also need to mention Tris from ONeill a couple of episodes ago on his channel, which is ONeill. He made these permanent way huts. He made an N scale, a double O scale, and I think an O scale, if my memory serves me correctly. I'm going to find a permanent home for it, but I've just put it into place and to film it, just to say thank you, Tris. I received it, all well and good. In fact, they're so good, I've even asked him to do me some more. So once again, thank you, Tris. That's ONeill. And as if by magic, just a week later, once again, thank you, Tris, some very finely 3D printed permanent way huts, courtesy of Tris at ONeill. They were cleaned and I painted them myself, and this is the result. So all ready for a diorama later on. Thank you, Tris. I did join the Scale Model Sceneries Railway Modellers Club. Although they don't do a great deal in N scale, what they do is very, very good quality and a reasonable price. So Justin, if you're watching this, we do want your product. So I know it's a lot of work and you are very, very busy, but just keep us in mind. We need your stuff. I did purchase the 25mm Swindon Works lettering, which was recently released by them, with view to making a new Wheezy Palace sign. So look out for that. That is coming up in probably the next update. I'm going to get onto it very shortly and get some colour into it and mount it, and I'll show you when it's complete. As part of another project that is going to be happening at some distance in the future, I've managed to acquire myself a Hellion 00 scale rail car, AC rail car number W79975, which is actually a model of a rail car that was run in Cirencester, and this actual one has Cirencester Town Station and Kemble as its destination boards. So I had to have it. It came on its own in DC format, and I've managed to get a decoder with a sound on it fitted. So it was just being test run, and more about that in a future episode. So there you go, just to give you a bit of a heads up as to what's going on with me and the channel. I just thought it was a little bit fairer on myself, because I can't always get in to do the railway. I do tinker around at my little workstation here downstairs in our living room. I do tinker around doing all sorts of bits and pieces. Hence I've usually got 4 or 5 different jobs on the go. So I really do need to sit down and settle myself into making some of these dioramas up that I've already made components for by bits and pieces, with the wheels cottage and some garages that I've just completed. Some wheels kit. It's actually a garage, but I've turned them into two workshops, which I will put in the garden or in the property complex with the cottages that I showed you in the last episode. And just to refresh your memory, if you were unaware, there we are, Cotswold stone cottages that I did from a wheels kit on the last video I did show you, all weathered down nicely in the roof and what have you. But obviously I just wanted to put a garden and a little bit of a diorama around with it. So I think it's just fair that as modelers I'm no expert by any description, but I do find a lot of solace in what you guys do on your channels, as far as railways go, as well as picking up painting techniques, etc. And my latest thing that I'm into is some skin tones, and I've got a soldier which I started with my lad when he was 10, he's now 22, so some 12 odd years ago, which is currently ongoing as well. So I've got loads of little bits and pieces I'm tinkering with, which is probably why I'm not getting on too quickly with the railway, although, like I say, that comes with its own difficulties with some of the jobs that I'm doing up there, and obviously with the lungs being the way the lungs are, it doesn't always work for me. Good days, bad days, etc. You know where I'm coming from. So yeah, I just thought I'd let you into that. It's now Wheezy Palace Models. So if there's anything you want to maybe do a tutorial on, I'm not great at doing them because of the camera and working and getting breathless and all that jazz. But I'm quite happy to share a few ideas with you. I'm really pleased to be a member of this Railway Modelers group. If you haven't done that, that's worth a look into, with scale model sceneries. Yeah. So all in all, things are good. I've got you some content. Another video, it's coming out its way with this content, which you'll see in now. So it's within, I think, a month or so since the last one. So that's quicker than the last time when I disappeared. But anyway, waffling now, so time to shoot off and do some more modelling. So thanks for watching, guys. If you've watched till now, thanks for sticking with me. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and until next time, you take care of yourselves and happy modelling.